Hello, my dear viewers. It is April 12th. We begin to review the events on the fronts of the Ukrainian war. Traditionally, we start at one of the two former Avdiivka sites. And today, first of all, we will talk about the Ocheretin sector, where yesterday our troops, after a good, powerful preparation, primarily by aviation, artillery, and unmanned aerial vehicles, began attacks from the village of Novokalinovo a few days before. As you remember, we approached this from the east on. The enemy tried to knock us out of there with counterattacks the day before yesterday. Having yesterday repulsed all enemy attacks, our troops began to attack directly on this settlement and immediately went from two sides, from the eastern and the southern. Our troops were able to enter one of the streets, took it under their control. In general, from the east, this settlement is now cut off. All roads there from the east are completely controlled by our. Simultaneously, we attacked from the south and occupied several forest belts. We reached the southern outskirts of the settlement and now it's completely encircled. The situation for the enemy here is desperate, considering that our firepower doesn't cease, and drones fly constantly. The artillery keeps pounding, and the reserves that the enemy throws in are constantly being cut down by our air artillery, and therefore the enemy currently doesn't stand a chance. There are none at all, in fact. I want to note here that the enemy has no chance in this direction. The enemy has none at all. In fact, the enemy's main problem isn't even the loss of any territory. The main problem is that we have adopted a tactic that works for us. It gives us results and the enemy has no counter to this tactic. It's a wall of fire, drones, artillery, after which comes the attack, territory capture, strengthening on it the next attack. This works. Whether here, even in the fields or on the clockyard, the result is the same everywhere. Yes, in dense urban settings, when the enemy has many such strong buildings, it goes more slowly. Yet, nonetheless, as Avdiivka showed, the enemy has no options. Ultimately, if we concentrate on one direction or another, we push through this defense, force him to retreat, inflicting quite significant losses on him, which he cannot reduce in any way. And this really actually looks like a strategic disaster for the armed forces of Ukraine, the ability to resist our capabilities. Yesterday on Novokalinovo, we reaffirmed this. So, yesterday, as of the evening, we occupied the eastern outskirts of Novokalinovo. And correspondingly, from the east we have already cut off this territory from the enemy and approached the southern outskirts, and fighting has been ongoing here since morning. The same is slightly to the west. This is Berdichi-Semyonovka. The enemy is now desperately attempting to counterattack, maintaining the remnants of part of Semyonovka under their control. Understanding that if he loses this, we will create an operational tactical bridgehead on the western riverbank of the Durnaya River, and in such a way we'll be able to attack both in the rear of Umanskoye and towards Ocheretin. By the way, the general direction towards Ocheretin is expected as a result of battles for Novokalinovo and Keramik. That is, the enemy's defense here is bursting at the seams, and also our troops, having reached the Umanskoye-Netailovo line, are gradually gaining a foothold in this territory, regrouping. And this is how I see it. Offensive operations will resume here in the next few days. Coming actions. Firstly, I expect an attack on Nitailov, given that once the right flank of the attack is secured, naturally our troops from Pervomaisk, which are storming further down the road, will definitely make use of this well. And the situation for the enemy in the Umanskoye area is predicted to gradually worsen as well, and they already need to prepare for the withdrawal to the next line of defense. In the area of Novoselka Pervaya and Novopokrovsky, I think that they will try once again here to delay us.